Hey, so I want to create this video as a overall vision of what I want to do. And basically, we have the auto tuner already, but I want to, the thing is that when the auto tune is not working, I have to fix it. And it's kind of like the Subway analogy where I made the Subway sandwich of the Foy tuner, and that's the sandwich, it's already done. But then if there's something wrong with it, I have to take away, add, and keep tweaking all the time. So what I want to do is to give them the ingredients so that they can build their own sandwich, or they can start with my sandwich and remove from, take away, or modify that sandwich. And so when there's a bug or Haas changes something, it'll be like, oh, hey, this isn't working anymore. I was like, well, go ahead and fix it. So that's kind of what I want to do. But also have a marketplace to sell their sandwiches too. Okay, so once they come up with their strategies, making them whatever, they can say, hey, this is what I'm doing, this is what it does, and then they can do a marketplace, and then they can sell it for a monthly fee, and then we take a cut of that month for facilitating that transaction. Okay, so what we want to do is put the Ubot Studio stuff into the web-based programming. So first process is to basically set up, let me go here and kind of show, set up everything in the web, and then once we're in the web and they can log in, you can see that there's this thing called flow-based programming. I'll have the resources there once I move it. There it goes. You see how this is on the web, and then you can kind of create your functions and tie things together. And once we run the tuning process, we can kind of see how it's flowing, what it's checking for, and how it's flowing through the thing, and all that other stuff. And what's also cool about it is that I believe FlowHub, it's a paid program, $30 a month. There's some cool stuff that you can kind of see here. You can monitor and graph certain things, the ROI, how it's performing, and all that other cool stuff. Okay, so once we can integrate this, then we create the tuner on the FlowHub. Now there's other tools out there, I just don't know which one yet. Total.js also does something similar, and I just can't decide, or I don't know enough yet, because I just know which one's good enough. So we might test a few first and kind of get an idea. This has some stuff, but I don't see how you program because there's no loops and stuff. It's just more like it connects devices together, I think. So I don't know if that's the one for me, but it still has a dashboard that's nice and clean, and you can graph stuff too, and you can kind of draw it all out and kind of think there. But hopefully you get the gist of where I'm trying to go towards. And this has the user management program in it too. So this is all like one-in-one package. It has the super admin, it has the content management system, the open platform to manage the users. It even has an e-commerce store if you needed it, which we don't need. And then you can flow, which is the programming, dashboard, and then it has Messenger Wiki, which we'll probably want to install too. And then to kind of like talk about it, and if people have problems on how to use it, we can teach them. We can write a wiki on that so they can reference and not have to ask us for support. And then they also have a blog engine, which we kind of create a blog on our server, and then our writer can then create blogs on that. So it's kind of like a WordPress site, but I kind of don't want a WordPress. I want to keep everything on Node.js. So that's that vision. So in the roadmap here of this, we're going to start with this user management, making sure the billing integration is working. So Kartra will be the front end website, and then they'll be able to pay for it. Then there's an IPN integration, which I'll give you, and I'll tag that here. And once we get to that point, and then we'll install the visual programming. So once they pay, they get to it. And then I'm gonna use it as a user. I'll have the programmer recreate the Foy tuner in the visual programming, and then in the sense share it with the community, that code, so then they can import it into their own account and use it too. And then allow them to see the code, remove, take away, or add to it, or they can start from scratch. Okay, and then we'll have like training videos that we need to create to teach them how to do programming themselves. so that they can recreate the indicators, MACD, RSI, and whatever stochastics and other Elliott wave or some other weird programming, other algorithms that basically kind of like what Haas has, but then it'll be created by the community rather than Haas himself. So this will be a self-growing community, creating all kinds of indicators that they can share with each other. But if they want to share for free, or if they want to charge a monthly fee, then we'll facilitate that for a tiny fee and go from there. Okay, so everything that we create, we'll create for free because they've already paid to access the platform. But if they want it from other users, then that's how that's going to work. And a place for also people who want to monitor, and that's for later on. Okay, and so once we go into that, we're going to create the dashboard, so then they can kind of view certain ROI of bots and kind of see where all their bots are at a glance, and see how it's trading, so we can kind of debug and troubleshoot things better. Okay, so that's important. Once that's installed, we'll connect that, and then we'll teach them how to connect that too. Then we'll that's the dashboard, and then once that's done, once that's all connected, then we start to do the one-click solution, the driving method, sweep method for how it sweeps the moving average types, the massage method on how to tune, and then we'll sweep through the checkboxes, and then we'll do the retuning criteria, and that will pretty much be done with the retuning, which will then be a minimal bubble product that we can then start selling, and then we can work on the retuning. Actually, retuning 21st. Oh, and then once they can do one bot, then we will just tie it to a 24/7 loop, and then we'll need inputs from the users on what coins they want to use and how they want to kill the bots and all the killing criterias basically. And then once that's done and it's tuning 24/7, then we could then create the algorithm to switch over the winners to live wallets and then go from there. So when we create this, we'll basically add all the Haas online APIs that we can connect to the local API of the Haas server. But once that is done, in a sense, we could create our own MACD equation. We could create our own stochastic Bollinger Bands and our RSI equation, because they're all given here. RSI stock equation or something. And then we can kind of just use that equation which they give, where it's like, this is how, with the numbers you have, and if it crosses these bands, high, low, whatever, over sold criterias. And I think they provide the equation somewhere, but it's out there. It's not no secret to create your own equation. And then you basically can replace Haas over time. So here's the equation on how to calculate the RSI. Okay, so this will be, in a sense, developed by the community through here, and we'll be able to save these little modules, and then people can use and connect them together and eventually replace Haas. But in the meantime, we'll just connect to Haas and use what we can use and go from there. But not only that, we can connect to Haas, we can connect to other trade bots. If they have APIs, we can connect directly to Binance API. There's other things like Crypto Hopper, which is another kind of like Haas. If they also have an API, we can also connect to it, but also manage it in a programmatic process. So even though they create bots, that's cool, but then what if they wanted to create a bot and then there's no API? Okay, so they don't have API, so whatever then. Be able to kind of control other sites, and I think Coinbase had a not Coinbase, CoinMarketCap. So we can pull indicators, data from other places and get help. Based on this, it's a bear market or it's a bull market, and we can kind of connect to the API here and pull data. And so based on where the market's going, we can pull that into this as a little function, and it can just drag and drop it. It's already programmed, and they can pull the data they need for whatever coin kind of thing. Okay, so we're basically building all these ingredients so that they can put it together and make any sandwich they want, and also share that with other people. And so if they just create, you know, indicators, and that's cool. They share with that indicators, then they put a bunch of indicators together, a bunch of safeties, a bunch of insurances, and then they can programmatically tie them together and loop it around, and in a sense tune in a customized way. Okay, and that's where I want to head with this software. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. That's the big idea. And eventually we won't have to use Haas anymore, and in a sense maybe we'll move some people over from Haas, and they'll realize like, hey, it's so much stronger, it's not as buggy, the community is supporting it, not just Haas team itself. They can connect to any other user that would have created these indicators. Whoever created it will have a profile link to them, so they can notify them, hey, it's this, or they can just bring it over. You need to fix it, I'll just fix it myself and republish it as mine, and then push it through. But maybe we'll give credit based on the tree, and it also links to GitHub, which is a revision history, which I kind of like about that. So GitHub. Oh, it doesn't say. Does it say? I don't know. Anyways, there's a video somewhere, and I think FlowHub does do that. So revision history is important. So I think that for them to integrate with GitHub and be able to from Microflow. Finger friendly. Oh, you can even. That's cool. I think yeah, synchronized with GitHub, so you can save all your revision histories and save your work basically, so you don't lose things. Because we do lose things a lot when we're programming. It crashes on us, or it was working and then we try to add something to it and we break it, and we're like, how do I get back to where I, you know, it's hard to go back to the working version. Okay, so there it is. Thank you, and the details will become clearer. It could be FlowHub, it could be this, it could be that, but we need to ask the programmer too, and maybe we just gotta do and try and see which one we like best, and maybe have multiple options. I don't know. Okay, all right, thank you.